1, 2, 3. Oh, I borked that one. But it's a fitting intro for this week. So, this is when I tried digital. To not so great results. Strictly PEPCAC. If you were ever a sysadmin, you've done Unix, you understand PEPCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. I wholly admit all of this was down to me. So, basically what's going on. Y'all know, gimping ain't easy. There's a lot of time spent in doctor's offices. And it's Brooklyn. So there's multi-hour waits a lot of times, especially, well, anyways, there's a lot of wait time in Brooklyn. Since I want to get things done, I've been working on doing music, different programs, such as Caustic, which I love. I used Caustic on one of these tracks. And now that I figured some of this out, I can show you some of that. Grainstorm is another one. But I couldn't really work on comics while in there because I couldn't bring my paper, watercolors, camera, do the process video. And then I was watching a video about a mangaka, Kanako, who does Bambi with the pink hair, I think it's called. I'll put the link to that video down below. It was great. But he was talking about this program that uses Metabang, and I became intrigued because the stuff that he was doing, it's kind of like manga meets Dan Clowes. It was just great. So that got me interested in it, and besides, if it would run on my old ass phone, it would probably work on anything, because I have a Samsung 8. I tend to keep electronics until they die, which will become readily apparent. And the thing I've always loved is, on the back of my little Otter case, I hope you can see it, there are ink stains. Yeah, there's ink on everything. I love ink. But if I could get Metabang to run on my phone, then I could do stuff while I was waiting in doctor's offices. Lo and behold, not only does it work on that phone, it works on my Android tablet, which is even older. So, since neither of them have a capacitance screen for pressure sensitive, that's kind of an issue. But I bought this, stylus for like $7. And even though the phone doesn't have a capacitance screen, I could still use that to work with Metabang on there. And then the other question was, can I get it to work on my Linux machine? Because my Linux machine, it's about to have its 10th birthday. So, so I was wondering, because Metabang only has Windows and PC for desktop. But lo and behold, boom, it was running in Wine perfectly fine. So this is my first foray into digital doing, and it was Fulci Otters I decided to do that on. And yeah, it's a mixed bag because everything is my fault. Still struggling with the program. And the other thing is, I downloaded a screen recorder program so I could do this process video. And once again, down to PEPCAC. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes I screwed it up or I lost a file. The other interesting thing was, I usually use, I think it's called Kazam, on my Linux machine to record my screen. Did a test run, worked perfectly, but I didn't test it with Metabang running on the Linux machine. So I think there's something going on with anything that runs under Wine and Kazam, Kaza, whatever that program is. So the stuff that I recorded that was on the desktop, it didn't get captured. But the only thing that really happened on the desktop, because I was screwing around with it, was changing the text orientation for the sound effects. So that's the only thing that you really missed, besides the middle two panels. So it comes out about 5 minutes, which is great because I'm rambling like hell in this introduction. So the great thing is, now we'll be back to the little guys with their Hawkwind fascination, because I have barely scratched the surface of Joe Banks' book on Hawkwind. And this is just a treasure trove. So we'll be back to that. And it's funny talking about old computer parts. Those of you out there that do this, you'll love this. This is the Wacom tablet that Kathleen dug out of storage for me. So I think this is from like 2012. But yeah, that's what I'm using. I told you I love using old electronics until they absolutely die, because why fill up landfills? You know, if it works, it works. So I'm definitely intrigued by this. I'll be doing more with it. I'll probably use it for full geometers because, like I said, it's great for when you're in doctor's offices waiting for appointments. You can just sit there and draw away. It's wonderful making music and drawing while you're out and about. What better thing can you do? So hopefully they'll get better as I go along and I learn more things. There's a ton of great tutorials online for Metabang, and it's free. So, you know, I would definitely recommend it. Anyways, I feel as if I've rambled way too much this week. Let's get into it. And I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye. So hopefully the rendering works, trying to keep this all in the proper display size. The thing that I do like about Medibang, and you know, this is all on the phone, sitting in the waiting office or waiting room to one of my doctor's offices, is I do like being able to do a rough sketch and then add another layer, go over that rough sketch. And the thing I really appreciate about Medibang is the Sharp pen, I believe it's called, and they also have a G pen in there, so you can kind of mimic the results of using a comic G nib. As you can see here, I'll have to play with it a bit, because the default, and this is also because I don't have pressure sensitivity going on, the lines, as you'll see, are very narrow at the beginning and end, and then they swell out in the middle. And it's a good approximation for now. Beggars cannot be choosers. And once again, I sped up the footage and didn't capture it all. And you can see here the idea that I had for the fourth panel that I eventually scrapped. But I wanted to leave it in there so you can tell I'm kind of learning this as I go along. Show your mistakes. And this panel right here, the fourth panel, because, you know, as I said, I borked up saving the middle too. I really enjoyed it because to me it showed me the power of Medibang, where I can use the straight line, rectangles, that type of thing, to construct the bare outlines of the exterior of the log cabin. And then go back over and freehand that in to give it that look. And the other great thing is, you know, if I don't like the stroke size, just erase it, go back in, redo it. And it was very interesting because I was watching tutorials that were dealing with how to use Alpha Protect and clipping, and I kind of reversed those, and I was looking at them as if I was using a mask. So there's much better ways to do these solid fields of color that I have to experiment with. I think I'll create another project so that I can continue to work with this program, because it's like anything. If you don't use it regularly, A, you're not going to learn new stuff. B, you're not going to retain what you did learn. I think if you're going to do anything, you have to do it daily, at least a little bit, in order to understand and truly dig into them. So, since I enjoy doing the Kelp Bed so much with physical materials, you know, paper, ink, watercolors, I'm not giving that up. So, yeah, I'll probably use this for the full geotter segments, and then I might create a new strip that I just do digitally and get good at this freaking thing, because, yeah, it's all about exploration and finding new things, and of course you're gonna suck in the beginning. Just accept that. Of course, I suck all the way through, so this may be a coping mechanism. Lacan would like to have words over this. But yeah, so I'm considering ideas of what I want to do with it, but I'll definitely keep on it. Because look at, I mean, my phone is old and it's running it, no problem. I like using the mobile app more actually than the desktop app. And I think that's because on the mobile app, everything's right there. You're not menu diving. When I'm working on the modular, I don't mind menu diving in this sense. But when I'm drawing, I don't want to take my hands away to do keyboard shortcuts and yada yada yada. I want it just there where I can tap it in. So we'll see how this goes, because then again, I'm a newbie. I'm making judgments on stuff I truly don't understand, and I admit that totally. I do love the ability with Metabang to upload your files to the cloud when you save them, and then pick them up on another device and work on them. That is truly a beautiful thing. But I think it was kind of a blessing that we missed a couple of panels in this, because otherwise you were just going to see footage of me trying things out, screwing them up, redoing them, and just kind of fumbling my way around in the dark. Yeah, and if I do end up using this a lot, I will probably make my own font set of my lettering. But yeah, we're coming to the end. Thanks for putting up with Amateur Hour. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.